Okay, this is Wednesday, but it's not raining, or at least not yet. At 90%, somehow the weatherman missed it. I'm going to try to do some more stuff. So, right now, I was a little worried yesterday. I didn't have this emergency stop set up, and I don't have any fail safes set on that platform. But recently on the flame wheel, I did have return to launch failsafe set up, and I started with a friend of mine to do an auto tune on it, and it just got so out of control. It decided to go return to home, jumped up to 100 feet, then landed, but it also, on another such attempt, turned over and broke an arm. But we'll revisit the flame wheel soon, I'm sure. But right now, yesterday when I was flying this, if there had been, let's say, some kind of fail safe where it wanted to go return to home, just having what I had in the radio, which was this, just to cut the throttle signal, was not going to fly. That wasn't really going to stop it from flying away. Should it go into return to launch and think it has to, that its home point was a mile away from here, it would have just disappeared from here. I would have never seen it again. It's not marked with my address and stuff yet. So I need to change this. I'll just come right in here right now and we'll just take this off. I think that's all you have to do here. Oops. There's that mix line gone from the throttle. Now it's just a straight throttle. So that's working on getting my radio fixed. Or explaining what I had yesterday and why, if it had done what I worried about, I wouldn't have had any control over it based on what I had here. What I really have to do is come in here and set a channel. And the easiest ways to do that, let's say not here, is it? Nope, it's here. User parameters. What I'm actually going to do here, I'm going to move this auto tune from channel 12 down to channel 11. It's just going to move it a switch on my radio. That's all. There's nothing in the radio set for that. But right here, I'm going to find my motor emergency stop. Now there's another thing called motor interlock. But I'm going to play with this motor emergency stop now. So that's all I really have to do. RC12 now is motor emergency stop. Write that parameter out and save away my changed master parameter list. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate this other than this way. Channel 12 right here. Turn on my radio.
Welcome to OpenTX. Stabilize.
And flip channel 12. And you can see right there, channel 12 went up. And that means emergency stop would have activated. All right. Oops. Got my 7 up. 7's actually being used for my smart audio now. I wonder why 6 is so high. So that's up at 7. Oh, there's why. Yeah, I've set that to a potentiometer when I wanted to play with trying to do that PID tuning with a potentiometer. So that fixes a few things. That gets me sort of with a motor emergency stop, which I should have done before I flew it at all. So I'm back to right here. I've done this. I got this where I want it. So I'm back to here. Motor hover learn. Oops, not dash, underscore. That should do it. Is a 2. And this is what I'm going to follow this time. Let's see here. There was also another little place where this was spoken about. So this is what I'm going to try to do today first. But there was a place. I'm going to break this video and we're going to find that, and then I'll come right back. Okay, I found it. It wasn't far. It was just above here because I'd read through this all again. I thought it was a couple of pages back. I've checked this. This is set correctly, and right here I'm supposed to set motor thrust hover to 0.25 or lower than the expected hover throttle. And then that's when we get into first flight, which I've done, and like I say, I don't need to do because I did this initial tune to the point where I've got this initial tune okay, in my humble opinion. I'm to here, so I really need to go in here, and the motor hover learn is set to 2, but the motor thrust hover man, oops, right here is at 2. It was at 0.35 default for the firmware, but because I have the motor hover learn enabled, it got changed yesterday to 0.2. I know it's not much different. I'm just doing what I'm told, 0.25. I'm trying to do this correctly. I'm trying to go through the instructions with and for you guys. So that's got me back where I need to be for this. So now I'm going to go out, fly according to this, and I've put my channel 6. I took it off of a knob again. So I guess we will go do that flight now, huh? It's not raining today, but it sure is cold. So the first thing I did was check the motor cut.
Motor disabled.
Works good. That's what we need. So now we'll do our altitude hold test, which in reality to me seems to be a hover throttle tuning movement. So I'm supposed to take it up to 15 feet and put it in altitude hold. I did. And then I had to use the throttle nudge again. And I got the throttle to like mid-throttle. I didn't really want to go any higher. That's where I wanted to learn. So I kind of felt that this low altitude hold didn't have to be at 15 feet. So I was counting down the 30 seconds and it started going down. I said, no, that's not right. So I picked it up a little bit more with the throttle and got it here. I set the throttle at mid-throttle. I looked down and saw the mark. I set it at exactly mid-throttle, and then I started counting 30 seconds with it right here. And that's the way I calibrated the hover throttle. I think that'll be fine. It's a good altitude hold if you ask me. So that was by this instruction. We'll see what happens. Now then, I'm supposed to set PSC underscore ACCZ to I, got an I and B term here, I guess, to 2 times motor thrust hover. So let's go see what that has become after that flight. Oh, 0.125. Whoa. Well, when I set it to the 0.25, the instruction said to set it to 0.25 or lower than the anticipated throttle hover. Boy, this went way lower. Okay, I'm going to call that good. So this right here should be changed to 2 times that. Two times 1.25 must be 2.5, right? Okay. Oh, saw this at first and went, oh my goodness. So this 1 becomes a, oh, not 2.5. 0.25, right? Oh man, I'm getting old. 0.125 times 2. Come on, brain. Yeah, it's 0.25. What the hell's wrong with you, boy? And this gets set to exactly motor thrust hover. So that's the P term for that. I can find that easily by just backspacing this right here. It'll pop them all up and I can dig the P term out right here, or I can hit P. Now then, that was supposed to be exactly motor thrust hover, which is 0.125. Tab. Oh no! I'm doing what you said, people. Value's out of range. Do you want to continue? Well, did I just do that right? PSC, ACCZP, PSC, ACZ underscore P, to motor thrust hover. Crap. No, not for right now. .125. Copy that. 0.125. And we're looking for PSC. PSC underscore ACCZ. Ah, man, not plus. Underscore ACCZ underscore P. paste that in. Boy, 0.125 tab. Man. Is it because I don't have a 0 in front of it? 0.1250. There isn't pertinent. Yeah, no. Oh, man, so what do I do here? Man. It told me to. The options are 0.2 to 1.5. And what was it? Yikes. It was 0.5, wasn't it? Man, I just... PSC. I'm a little flustered right now. It's 0.5. Oh yeah, I'm trying to take it down to 0.1. And it says the ranges are 0.2 to 1.5. I'm not sure what to do right now. Man, not sure what to do. So the other one I changed was the I term. Yeah. Dropped it by 75%. Took away 75% of it from the default. Vertical controller I gain. And this is the vertical controller P gain. Man. I really don't know what to do. I'm going to change it like they said. 0.125 tab. Yes, I want to continue. No, I really don't. Write it. Could have just screwed everything up. Save it to... Not going to save it there. Man. What was that? PSC underscore ACCZ underscore P. Problem. So now I've got one saved out there like the platform is right now as this. God, I guess the one I've got this saved has one of those parameters changed, but not the others. Boy, is that something, guys? Yeah, and this, if AltHold starts to oscillate up and down, the position of velocity controllers may need to be reduced by 50%. I saw a lot of oscillating up and down yesterday because I didn't know what was going on with the motor hover learn, and I was trying to get my throttle to the center, but it was moving around where I needed it outside the center, but where it got where a place where I wanted it, I was trying to get it back to the center, but everything in the flight controller was kind of moving around while I was giving it inputs. That's why I redid this today. Today I didn't do a bunch of that like yesterday because I knew the motor hover learn was on, and was more intent today on setting it right with that 50% mark on my radio. So it was at 50% for an altitude hover. I'm pretty good after many, man, when I first started flying quads, I was bad about if I put it in altitude hold or loiter or something like that, I'd drop the throttle. And I had a few crashes, and I finally realized, wait a minute, you're crashing because when you take it out of altitude hold, you've got to. I didn't even know about calibrating the throttle manually through the telemetry files back in those days because I was just going out to fly. You know how it is. We don't read instructions. And I was up 30, 50 feet, and altitude hold's going good. I take it out altitude hold and destabilize it. It heads for the ground. A couple of them I caught. I had a couple of crashes, and then after that, I of course was getting a little higher because of you're supposed to be high enough for you can have more than one error. And on a couple of those, I started raising the throttle, and that's when I realized my throttle's I'm dropping my throttle when I put it in the altitude hold early in my flying. So I started making sure I leave it at wherever it was when I put it in altitude hold. Well, if I was in above halfway and put it in altitude hold, when I took it out, then it tried to fly away on me. So that's when I learned of the going into the telemetry logs and finding the PWM for your motor hover, altitude hold hover, and got that set. Forever after that, I knew I had to have that no matter how the throttle was when I went into an altitude or loiter type dealy. Because all the crashes and broken parts I had in the probably the first 5 or 6 flights, I automatically put that throttle at 50% now. And then flying for 3 or 4 years after that, always doing that. It's just like my thumb going to the return to launch button, return to home button. It's just ingrained in me. If I'm not working the throttle, it's at 50%. So that if I come out of some kind of flight controller controlled mode, it doesn't head for the moon or the river and does not hit the ground. Okay, I don't like what just happened on this right here, but we're going to see what happens. Maybe somebody out there will give me a heads up on this. Maybe I'll be able to dig out some more data in the next few days. I'm going to continue on after I discuss my last little problem here. Now that I've got this, at least I attempted to do what they said for me to do here. Am I supposed to come in here now and turn that off? It was at Learn and Save. This is Learn, disabled. Am I supposed to disable this? I don't even know the answer to that right now. But as I dig today before the next flight, oh boy, next flight could be fairly fast. Let me look at that. Because next thing I'll do is this harmonic notch filtering. And it looks like that means I'm going to have to fly again. This doesn't quite tell me yet. Oh, okay. I'll just have to read through that. So that's what's up next here is I'm going to be digging on whether I should turn this off, and I'm going to go on to harmonic notch filtering now. I see that I've run over 4 minutes right now of my desired time period on video, so I'm going to cut this one here, and we're just going to call this the altitude hold, hover, throttle setting, whatever. I'll name it something. So I will go on to notch filtering in the next video. Thank you guys so much.